Hey guys, welcome to the Game Lounge Podcast, episode 2. I'm joined today again with Para Magic.
Hello.
So let's get the lounge music on and let's chill. So, in this podcast, we're going to today talk about some articles in the gaming news. So let's start with that then, shall we? So this one comes from PC Gamer, which is GameSite pays £1 million to charities to apologise for Red Dead Redemption 2 leaks. The whole story essentially is a reviewer called Trusted Reviews, so their company had obtained a leak of Red Dead Redemption 2 that they put in on in February, and obviously Take-Two weren't happy about that, so as a deal they've agreed to pay £1 million to whatever charities Rockstar says they want to put it to, so it's okay. I think personally that's a great idea. I mean, I think they would have saved themselves trouble if they said, it's rumours, because then Rockstar could have, Take-Two could have said to them, listen, can you take it down, please, But when you say this is the leaks, look first, it's completely different. So
Backfired.
Yeah,
but hopefully that'll encourage other articles, other article creators, whatever you want to call them, to just be careful about what they reveal in the future about other games.
Yeah, a Rockstar statement of Variety says Take-Two takes security seriously and will take legal action against people or publications who leak confidential information. But it's going to the charities, the American Indian College Fund, the American Prairie Reserve, and the First Nations Development Institute. So pretty well deserving charities. So I think that's quite good to see that rather than just taking the review company to court for a settlement, they're actually saying, okay, well, if you give money to charity, at least it makes up for it in a way.
Definitely.
Yep, so let's get on to the next one. The next topic that we're going to talk about is the everlasting debate. What is better, Nvidia or AMD? Now, you're looking at two people in Tgl who have Nvidia GPUs. But we'll try not to be super biased in this section. So, I'll let you start then, Pero. What's your views?
Well, personally, I've never had an AMD product in my computer. Obviously, I own an Xbox One, which has a custom-made, is it an AMD Jaguar?
I believe it's AMD Jaguar processor.
And in fairness to it, it's lasted me 5 long years. It's not really. It's only now showing signs of age, so I think that's actually pretty good considering that it is a cheaper processor, and obviously being AMD, and it's lasted quite a long time. I can give them credit for that, absolutely. But like I say, in my computer, never had anything AMD. I've only ever had Nvidia stuff. I currently have an Nvidia card now, and it's working absolutely fine. But I know quite a lot of friends that have had Nvidia products in their PCs. Mixed reviews across the board. Great performance, sure, but when it comes to reliability, it doesn't seem like it's the best thing to invest in if you are looking for a long-term path. They seem like they're quite replaceable after about a year or so, whereas Nvidia can last you quite a long time. Again, like I say, that's just what I've heard. Might be wrong. Everyone has their own opinions and such. So, what would you say?
To go along your lines, as you know, I have an Xbox One X, so that's a Microsoft custom-made graphics card for like 6 teraflops of performance. But again, the central processor is still an edited AMD Jaguar, and that runs quite fine. Does my 4K gaming, whereas my computer myself, I'm still running a 980 Ti GTX Nvidia. And again, from everything I know, from people that I've spoke to, just generally, if you have the longevity, then go with Nvidia. If you have the cheapness in a way, I'd guess. I mean, not always the cheaper option. Something like a Ryzen 7, I think, might cost a lot.
Yeah.
But again, I just know plenty of people who have more problems with AMD than they do Nvidia. So again, I'm always going to stay Team Green. For me,
absolutely.
But let us know in the comments when this goes to the YouTube video. what you're running out there, and what you think's the best GPU right now. Because
Absolutely.
I know Nvidia have launched the RTX cards for the ray tracing, which the core performance is incredible. Don't get me wrong, it's fantastic, but the ray tracing side of it is really in its infancy. Is the kindest way to say it. Yeah, there's not a lot of super support for it, and things from like what they demoed with like Battlefield 5 looks good. It's designed to wow you. It's their conference, they've got to make it sell. But in actual real life performance, it's something that I wouldn't invest in just yet. But like when VR headsets came out, I wasn't going to invest in one. I still haven't. But in 3-4 years from now, maybe I might invest in one, because the technology's come on leaps and bounds by then, and the availability, because the price is quite heavy, I guess, and you need a lot of space with like a HTC Vive, so it's definitely not like the first option. But yeah, anything else you want to add about that then, Pero?
I do think that Nvidia are doing a good job, but absolutely recently they haven't been marketing fantastically, I don't think.
Yeah.
But still, always, I won't say always, but thinking down the line at the minute now, the way my mind is, I think Nvidia will always be my go-to choice for
mine definitely.
GPU hardware. So
sheer performance compatibility tends to be quite well with Nvidia cards.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, a lot of software is built around to work with Nvidia products. So
and I've a friend who used to run Crossfire, which is AMD's version of SLI, so you can put two graphics cards together in a way. And he had more problems with that than until he switched to two 980s, which he did for SLI, and he said he never looked back. But that was like a year and a half ago. So yeah, we're definitely hashtag Team Green, as you can tell.
Yep, we are. Let us know otherwise.
Yeah, if you're Team Red, let us know what you like about AMD. Let us know what you think. But let's move swiftly on to the next section. This time on this podcast, we're going to let Pero Magic tell you what he recommends.
Okay, if we're talking about games, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Of course, if you own a console, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever it may be, Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm sure that's a game 99% of you have heard of. What an incredible game. Sure. I must say, I've been waiting since the first game, obviously, which came out in May, I believe,
2010, yeah.
So it's been 8 years that we've been waiting, and I love that game to bits, and ever since Red Dead 2 was announced, I was so hyped, and I couldn't wait for it. Once they announced that it was delayed for the first time, I was quite upset, but knowing that Rockstar are pretty, they want to make sure that they're releasing quality product. So
yeah, it's to touch on that, with Rockstar games in general, if you look at like Call of Duty, it used to be a point where every year you got a new Call of Duty, but you got it from Treyarch or Infinity Ward, so they had a year's time to develop it. Now they've switched it to like every 3 years, but with something like a Rockstar game, 8 years development, going on fine details, you can tell that it's a passion project for them. It's not something that they've just made necessarily. Okay, we all understand they make games to make money, definitely.
Absolutely.
But you can tell this is more of a passion project, especially when you see that, there was just the reports over the last few weeks they were working 100-hour weeks of voluntary, because everyone just really wanted to make it like the best it can be. So it's great to see. I mean, you definitely notice the changes as well. I mean, you play, like you said, on a standard Xbox One, and I have the X, and you can definitely see the difference between upscale 900p and true 4K. It's incredible. But no matter what platform you get it on, it's still going to be an incredible looking game, and it still plays really well.
It's very well optimized for sure. As I said, I have the day one edition Xbox One, so this is 5 years old, and I was kind of worried about how Red Dead 2 would run, knowing how amazing it looked and how big the game was. And when I loaded it up, it was so smooth. I'm not gonna lie, it was probably one of the smoothest games that I've played in a long time.
Yeah, the Rage engine does really work quite well.
Absolutely.
It just goes to show you that if you could give game developers more time, obviously you can't always because of time constraints, markets, all that they get into, but if you give the right developers the right time to just do what they want to do, and
they can work some magic.
Yeah, they put you can tell something like Red Dead Redemption 2 has more quality put into it
Yeah.
than games that are rushed. So, what wouldn't you recommend?
What wouldn't I recommend?
Yeah.
Okay, now that's a touchy topic, because I'm not too sure, to be honest. Okay, let's talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Okay, we've played that, we own it, we have a lot of fun with it. Okay.
This is something we're definitely split on.
Sure. I mean, zombies. I think it's great. A lot of people have said like, "Oh, who cares about zombies now?" You know, we've played it, we've done it. They're just milking for what it's worth. But no, in fairness, I enjoyed
zombies. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, the maps 9, Voyage of Despair, and what was it, Blood of the Dead, I think.
Yeah, Blood of the Dead. Yeah. And if you own the pass, you get Classified, which is just 5 from Black Ops 1.
Yes, and that's what I was thinking of. Is we look at Call of Duty, we used to have zombies, campaign, multiplayer. Cool. Campaign was probably the biggest development point for the company, I think.
Yeah.
Hiring voice actors and story writers and stuff, and they can just throw that out the window now. Obviously, they've replaced that with Blackout, which I'm not saying is a lazy mode, because it's a very polished mode. There are issues here and there, but overall, it's got the performance and the quality of like a AAA battle royale. Sure, but obviously we're not getting nearly as much content as we would in the previous games, I don't think, anyway, and the amount of playtime that we would. And yet it's still £50 in the UK, $60 in the States, whatnot. It's still a full AAA game, and I think it's not worth the price at the minute, I don't think. Of course, the fact that there is content in the game behind the paywall already, which is, the one map, Classified, which is basically like 5 from Black Ops 1. Yeah. And what else is there? There's like a character skin. And obviously, there is more content coming with this pass, but the pass itself is almost the price of the game. So if you were to buy the game and this pass, you're paying over £100 for, for that game, and that's it. And I just don't think that's worth it at the minute. A lot of people have spoken out about it, and genuinely, I am on their side. So I think that they should knock off the price. But obviously, with it being a AAA game, they know they can sell it at that price. People will buy it at that price, me included. So and yourself.
Yeah. Do you want me to give you my views on it?
For sure. I think
Black Ops 4 is interesting because if you were like me and you played Black Ops 3, it was so mediocre. The general consensus that everyone got from it was a good game, but it's just dull. It kind of dies after like a couple of weeks when it came out. And all the exosuits and jumping, and no one liked it. So I think the positives of Black Ops 4 is it is boots on the ground. I like the fact that you've got the different specialists because it gives you variety to fit your playstyle. So if you want to be the team's recon, you can. If you want to be someone who rushes in or nomadic, just play nomad. I like the addition of Blackout. I think it's very well done, very well delivered. But I still think there is still post-release bugs that they still need to fix. The lag and quads makes it unplayable. Because even though I've got a good internet connection, I've got the Xbox One X. When you get FPS lag for no reason other than it's just not optimized or whatever the actual problem that Activision and Treyarch are finding is very off-putting. Because COD is definitely a game that you can enjoy by yourself, but it's better with friends. So when like me and Pero and our other friend Animals HD and Kenny Kokos want to play quads on Blackout, we can, but it's so laggy it's hard to even play.
We do stuff, yeah.
I think the multiplayer aspect's quite good, but again, it's almost like it's missing something, but I can't tell what. It's like an X factor. Like if you said to me, okay, World at War was released 10 years ago, and that's still one of my favourite Call of Duties of all time. The multiplayer on that, it's just so simple because it was just basic kill streaks, and you got rewarded for playing well in the game. Whereas now, I play a lot of Kill Confirmed, and I play Black Ops 4, as you know. And it all comes down to the lack of teammates playing the objective. I know it's a bit of a meme, PTFO. But in this game, it's genuine. I end a game with like 40 tags, and it's out of 60, so we lose because the rest of the team don't pick them up because they're just playing for kills. But that's COD community, and that's really the game's fault. It's just people. So overall, I'd recommend it. But again, the lack of a true campaign, the post-release bugs, And of course, what you mentioned, the the DLC. I mean, for years now, we've been getting season passes for £40 or about $60, is it?
Yeah.
And it's just not worth it most of the time. I mean, unless you're like truly in the game. Like, don't get me wrong, I've bought season passes before, as I'm pretty sure we all know about the Division name at Tgl,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
we'll explain in the future episode about it.
Absolutely.
Defo, great investment by me, definitely. But yeah, I just think it's we're used to it, but we shouldn't, as a community, we shouldn't accept it. This
I
should
think
be.
the innovation side of it has just gone downhill too. Like,
If I think if like something like a pass kind of like you say with innovation, if there was a load of content, rather the standard format with cards is 4 new maps and 4 new characters, that kind of thing. It's only 4, so it's not like it's much. Whereas if it's like, well, he's 20 maps, he's a load of new characters, he's an incentive double XPs and that, then it makes sense. But you have to truly be in the game to want it.
that's true, but they do know that people are going to buy it. But by even innovation, and I specifically mean like you discussed earlier about World at War being one of your favorite Call of Duties, and I completely agree with that because I had so much fun with that game. Campaign was incredible.
Yeah,
Also, the fact that you could have a co-op campaign, the multiplayer was great, and also Zombies was a brand new mode at that point, so that was something no one was expecting and received. And I don't think we've actually had a mode quite as unique in Call of Duty, and I know it might be hard for them to implement, but this is a AAA game company, and we should be expecting some top quality content. We are literally getting multiplayer, fine, okay, it's Call of Duty multiplayer, it's arcade shooter, great, you can have some fun with it. Very simple mode still, there's nothing too fun, I don't think. Kill confirmed, yeah, you shoot people, you pick up the tags. It's been in the game since Modern Warfare 3, I think.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing truly innovative that is there, I don't think. Obviously, Blackout, yeah, good new mode, but it's not unique. PUBG, Fortnite, H1Z1.
Realm Royale.
Realm.
Let's never talk about that ever again, because that was such a disaster. I feel so sorry for the people at High Res, because Paladins, for example, is a fantastic game and people love playing Smite, and then you could tell Realm Royale it was rushed because they'd seen the success Fortnite was getting and PUBG. It's like, well, quick, let's make a battle royale mode. That's whether that's true or not, that's the sense the community gets from it. It's just rushed. So
yeah, I mean, it was a free game, yeah, but absolutely it was just terrible.
Yeah, we'll be honest. That's our opinion, so don't take it as fact. That's just we think it's terrible.
Yes, yeah.
But if you like it, then comment down below and
let us
explain.
know that we're wrong.
Yeah, tell us that we're wrong. It's great. But going back to COD, I think it's incredible the zombies mode, because depending on how many iterations of it, if Treyarch knew what they were doing with it when they first made it as like a joke kind of thing, that was like a side project, and all the development, even in Black Ops 3, it was still a really good mode. But then when you get Sledgehammer's interpretation, it's really dull until about World War II, because when they had what was, in brackets, the zombies mode in Advanced Warfare, that disaster of a game.
Yeah.
Which, again, comment if you think I'm wrong. It just doesn't seem to implement as well. So I think they should always just leave a zombies mode to Treyarch, because they know what they're doing. They're the experts in it. They know what the community wants.
They developed it.
They always bring new features, the new shield parts, the new weapons, the fact that you can now give your mystery weapon guns to your friends.
Maps and the story. Yeah.
It's things we've been asking for years. That they've gone, okay, let's do it.
I mean, I must admit, World War II Zombies was fun. I mean,
it was fun when we played
a lot of that. We done the Easter egg on it. We spent a lot of time on it, and we did have fun.
Yep.
But again, there was only really one map on World War II, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of that.
If I remember correctly, obviously there was the campaign. I thought the campaign in World War II was
I didn't even bother playing the campaign for World War II, because I was at the time I was really annoyed with World War II. Because I was expecting the online. Don't get me wrong, I was a big online COD fanboy when I was a teenager. So every COD that comes out, you're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to play online. And World War II online, especially for the first 2 weeks, was just horrendous unless you had an STG.
In fairness, the STG was.
So I kind of dropped the game after a while. I mean, I did come back and play zombies with you. But I think overall, Black Ops 4 is a good return to the series, but I think the next one needs to be better.
Yeah, I just don't like how they're dropping the campaign and how the majority of other games as well are doing that.
Yeah.
everything is becoming an online service now, which is the future. But seeing single player games and like co-op games, story-based games kind of fizzle out a bit is quite sad. But obviously, as I mentioned at the beginning of this segment, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a fantastic single-player.
Rockstar is always going to be your go-to for story games. You know, LA Noire, Grand Theft Auto, or even Bethesda, Skyrim, Fallout 4, and 76 is coming in a couple of weeks, I believe, as well. So if you're into story modes, there's still some hope. It's still a genre. It's just less common now. But moving on from that, in our last part of the segment, is what's new in TGL. So Pero, do you want to explain what's coming up and what's out now?
Sure. Well, yesterday we had a pretty productive day, didn't we? We done some recordings. There was a series that we've been wanting to do for a very long time now, which is Portal 2, which is obviously, if you don't know what that is, then you've been living under a rock for the past however many years.
7 years it's been out, I think.
Yeah. So me and Hardy played that cooperatively. We are still recording it, but there are 2 episodes currently out, and the 3rd episode is out in an hour from when this podcast is live.
Yeah, when this goes out.
Yes, so that is still going to be a series that is just going to be released until we finish it, I think.
Yeah.
Keep Talking, Nobody Explodes. Fun little game. Fun little party game, I suppose. Me and Hardy have been playing that too. We've got 1 episode out on the channel now. We've got another one as well, which I'm going to edit probably tonight or tomorrow and get it out as soon as possible. Obviously, going to do more of that. A lot more games coming. I'm thinking of doing a series where I go through some horror games, maybe like single player games. Just play through, upload just content for you guys. Obviously, we want to hear what you think, what you want to see.
Yeah, I mean, on my end, I've still got the F1 2018 videos, which have had a lot of love, so thank you to people that have supported that series. There's still, I think, 15 videos to come out, so I've got a lot of work ahead. I will be doing some walkthroughs, and we've also got I've got a super secret series I can't mention, but if you like classic games, and I'm not talking necessarily 80s kind of like, Space Invaders, we're talking, 90s, that kind at the moment. There's going to be that kind of stuff we're going to be trialing out and seeing if you like it, because it's a passion project for myself and Pero when he does his, which again I can't explain too much about. Like we said, we're going to keep up with the Portal 2 videos, because on our old YouTube project, VGN, which did go quite well until the unforeseen circumstances meant we couldn't do it anymore, people have been saying to us, "Oh, bring it back, you and Pero were so funny, it was great, we loved it," so we're happy to bring it back and do it. And yeah, we will have more videos coming soon, like the Rocket League montages. I'm sure we'll have more of them, because Pero and our friend Animals HD, who shout out to Animals for mad skills on Rocket League. We'll do that. The Fortnite montages, I did get a message off someone wanting to see more of them, so we are working on it. It's just you have to be kind of in the mood to play Fortnite, and I've kind of just a little bit burnt out with it, because I played it straight for so long, and then you get Call of Duty Blackout, you get Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's like I haven't got time for Fortnite, but it is coming.
Oh yeah.
And again, like I always want to say, TGL, a lot of people think it's just me, Pero, and Kearney. Yes, we are the creators of it, but it's you, the community, that makes TGL what it is, so we want you to submit your videos in our Discord. The link will be down below, because we want to be able to showcase your stuff off. And don't worry if the quality is 480p, for example, we'll still put it up there, because, at the end of the day, it's showcasing gamers for gamers rather than necessarily games for games. I know it sounds weird, but yeah. So at the end of the day, this is a fantastic community. If you haven't been a part of it, make sure to, first of all, hit this like button if you like it, comment if we're wrong on any points, and subscribe as well. And get involved in the Discord, the Steam group, and the Facebook page. Again, there are links below, especially if you come to the Twitch chat at twitch.tv/thegamelounge live.
This is where this is live now, yeah.
Yep. Because even in these future podcasts and games, you can get involved. So again, that's I can't stress enough how much the community means for TGL. So I think we're going to wrap up there. Thank you for joining me today, Pero.
Absolutely.
On podcast number 2. And we'll see you next time for the next podcast. Keep an eye on the YouTube, of course. Make sure you've got your alerts on for the new series, like the Portal videos and the Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes series. And make sure to give the Twitch a follow. because that'd be your chance to join us on the community streams as well as our own. So until next time, everyone, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you in the third podcast maybe, which I think might be tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully.
So we'll sort it out, so stay tuned for more, and I'm HoddyF1.
And I'm Paramagic.
And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.